Just less ago.
April meeting.
I never seen her around.
All right, let's go ahead. We will call the Dalton Township Planning Commission meeting for February 24th to order. First, we'll start with roll call. Dave, here. Todd, here. Cassie,
Here.
Casey,
Last month I was Casey.
Lee,
Here.
Jesse,
Here.
John,
Here.
and Mark.
Here.
All right. We have an agenda. Anything to add or changes or anything?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support. Support there. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We'll move ahead. We have the approval for the meetings of January 27th, 2026. Does anyone have anything they need to see adjusted or changed?
I make a motion to approve January 27th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Support. Motion and support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're now up to public comment. We do have a couple of items on here tonight for public hearing. This is one 3-minute period where you can stand up and say whatever you would like to speak about. If it's about we have one up for the Lakewood Addition Sub-Area Plan. And then we have 2 new items up there that we will be discussing. But if it's anything else that you would like to discuss, I'll open up the public comment, and you just need to stand up. You have 3 minutes to speak. So I'll go ahead and open that now at 6:03. This is a big crowd for us, so we appreciate everybody being here. So you don't have to feel like there's any pressure, but if there's anything you want answers on, this is a great time to ask. Not gonna try to convince you need to, but if you find anything that you need to say, this would be a great time. Otherwise,
No, this is for just general, not
just, general, anything township driven, anything that,
even the sub-area plan.
we're gonna actually get into some of that here as a public. Yeah, we will have a public hearing that you'll get your specific. All right, having none, I'll go ahead and close that at 6:04. All right, and we are now up to items for public hearing. You want to start with the hearing?
Yeah, let's start with public hearing.
Okay, we'll start with that part. So this is gonna be public comment on anything that you have for that. I will go ahead and open up the hearing at 6:04. And again, if you would like to speak on that, you can get at least your 3 minutes. You can use the podium, or you can stand right where you are. Again, not having a real big crowd tonight. This is a pretty easy one.
Okay, I guess I do.
Okay.
See, my name is Elizabeth Lemoyne, 50 West Englewood in the Village of Lakewood Club. I'm the Planning Commission Chairman for Lakewood. I've been here about 3.5 years ago to address this same thing. But obviously, it was in the very preliminary stages back then. So, but looking at this, sub-area plan, I have to admit, I mean, put a disclaimer there. And have been aware of it, but I wasn't necessarily notified about your developing of this sub-area plan step by step. And even if I was, I don't know if I could fit in my schedule, I might have. But, but I was looking at it page by page this afternoon, but not really close detail. So I have 3 different comments I want to make on it. But please, bear with me. If you've already addressed this, that's fine. I appreciate that. I'm not aware of that. So for what it's worth, I just want to make a couple of comments as far as what I see. Okay, they're looking at the plan. There doesn't appear to be any parks planned other than the existing park at Goose Egg Lake, Catalpa Park. This may put undue strain on Lakewood Club's Fox Lake Park through increased use by non-residents. Use of Fox Lake Park facilities by non-residents could significantly increase the overall general use of the park, obviously, but without the township sharing the financial responsibility for park maintenance by the village DPW. It puts the strain on us if there's no parks in the areas where you're developing here. The second point I want to make is the large number of residential buildings can negatively impact any stormwater runoff towards the village through the loss of permeability of the soil. Also affected might be the groundwater water quality of Lakewood Club residents by runoff from the large increase of surrounding lawns now. Now the water, looking at the watershed, it cuts Lakewood on a slant. So this really addresses the subplan to the east of Lakewood. The subplan to the south would really be more of maybe affecting Fruitland, but not us. I'm really addressing that. And then the other point I want to make is addressing the plan's future land use map number 4. I just saw that today. I have to say, the decision to designate a significant area for resource conservation, especially in Dalton Township, the whole township, looking at the future land use map for the whole township, I think it's impressive. I really appreciate that. And having it here in your map number 4 is also, I genuinely appreciate that. Thank you. I think it's really important. However, we still need to consider the impact suffered by perhaps over a square mile of that area, where it's a serious loss of that green space and habitat. I realize you're wanting to develop it at the same time, if you can keep that in mind, because that's very important for animals and plants and us. So I think that's pretty much my comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do I need to say anything? If you have something you would like, you don't have to, but if you have questions, if you have there, you might have a question that you say, hey.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, do I have any other comments? I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:08. Okay, now we've been in discussion on this, and I think this is pretty much what the final draft of what we've been working on. Now, Stephen, do you want to address any of those, or want us to address any of those, the questions that were, I don't see anything in there on parks. I did look there, but I don't know if I missed anything on that. At least that no, there is not any designated.
Yeah, so there's no parks designated in this plan. During the next Parks and Recreation Plan update, I would like to go over the potential recreational and park value of the lands designated for the resource conservation and preservation. And the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee would be doing that process to see if anything would be appropriate there. And the development portion is that south of Lakewood Club is very very close to a significant portion of land set aside for conservation and forestry. So at the time of the update, the advisory committee will look at that in conjunction with the growth of the development at that time. And that could also be something that the planning commission looks at when approving any developments, if there's like a planned unit development as well, as to whether or not those facilities are necessary.
Permeability and issue with potentially rainwater. That's something you handle.
So that would be handled during site plan review or anything for any private roads. planning the developments, those would need to include an engineer specifically for stormwater retention, making sure that everything can be maintained and drain into the soil, within the development.
Which is standard how we've handled many of the Dalton Township things. We always come on, if the water that comes to your property needs to stay on your property, and we've been pretty adamant about that, so.
Really?
That's, we want not to share with your neighbors on other things is okay, but definitely not rainwater. So we want that to be where no one should, have any issue with that again. And what we approve and sometimes what is executed, there may be a mistake or, I guess I'll leave it at, it could be a mistake, then it can be corrected, and we are a complaint-based operation. So if you did ever have an issue with something like that, we would have someone follow up on that. If it's water not staying on someone's property as it's supposed to be legally done, then we would have enforcement involved in that. So from what we've been working on, that's one of the many things that we've wanted to improve.
For anything that comes to us, yes, yep.
And then any questions on water table, I guess we don't know really where specific, as you mentioned, it's 1,100 acres? When I heard that number, I guess I've not seen it. That's the 1,100 acres is the total property.
I got that from the Muskegon County GIS maps,
Gotcha.
a rough estimate of, it's very rough, but
It suddenly sounded a lot bigger to me.
But only a couple hundred of it is some that heavier development,
Yeah,
right? So. As far as the groundwater, I mean, we're up close to that area, and I mean, the sand drains very well, groundwater's down a ways. I personally don't see any issues with it, I guess. It's a very good draining area.
well, if I may, can I speak? The reason I brought that up at all is my husband is a retired civil engineer, specializing in stormwater for Grand Rapids. So he's very sensitive to what it all means and where it can happen. And so when he sees this, that is just, he just perks up like, whoa, this could be a problem because of this. I can't speak as a civil engineer, but I do know that it could be an issue. So I thought
Yeah, down that way, it's predominantly heavy soils, right, where, yeah, runoff's a huge problem, right, but you just don't have it here, you know, I mean, that's why there's no ditches next to the road, half the roads, because it perks so good, you know, so. But yeah, I can see where you would definitely say, oh, wait a minute.
and
Yeah.
if I see, I don't want to take up your time, but
Right.
I've been currently working with my assistant. We've been analyzing through Michigan State University. We've been analyzing Fox Lake because I grew up there and the lake doesn't look healthy. And I'm wondering what's going on. And so if you take 5 years of studies and watch what's going on, their experts can then look at the lake and tell you if you're getting worse, better, or what to do about it, you know, with your shorelines or whatever. And so we're at the end of a study about that. And one of the big things that we've heard so far is runoff. Runoff is huge that can pollute the lake. And so obviously Dalton Township has lakes. And what's happening with the health of all those lakes? And so runoff, even though you keep it on your property, can't always keep it on your property. You know? So that's, yeah.
Does that address the questions I think we had?
It does, thank you.
Well, no problem. That was pretty easy. All right, so now we are to our portion where you do have pretty much as it's been written, reviewed, edited.
I got a couple of things, more or less just stuff I was gonna ask you about, I guess, but I'll bring it up anyway. So like on page 5, where it talks about the planning, it says it may be appropriate to deviate from that planning by replatting. The township would replat it, or how would you go about that? I guess I'm not positive. Maybe not.
Or if, if a private developer were to feel it were appropriate to replat, that they would take the burden of replatting.
Gotcha.
But it may be necessary for the township to replat in portions where it owns a lot of land. And it feels it's appropriate to close down the rights of way. So it can control them, like if there needs to be a large preserve or park
We're
where,
gonna cut off some
where
of
you
the
cut
tracks
off
or
a
something
few.
or whatever
Yes.
type of thing, rights of ways, garbage piles.
Yeah. So that's in there, so the township has that option. For
Yeah.
support.
So then on page 15, under the conservation section, which I know a lot of this is ideas, right? But it just kind of caught my eye that, private conservation, excuse me, may be considered in cases where it's determined and ensured that such private conservation would further the goals of the plan. What would be the thought with that, I guess? Like if a conservatory group or something,
Yeah, maybe
But-
a conservatory group or a hunting club or.
something where it remained
Something-
undeveloped and,
Something where it's going to serve the public either by, being some sort of preserve for a specific use, like hunting. The township doesn't want to have the liability for
right,
hunting, but if, a private group wanted to go in and purchase it for hunting, then they could
Gotcha.
maybe do that. And in that situation, replatting would be very wise because it would cut out all the rights of way. So people no longer have the right to go in the
right,
midst of a bunch
right,
of
because
people
right now you have all the rights of ways, yeah. They're cut up.
Anything else on that? Any questions?
No, not on that, on page 16, on amend the land sale policy, to give flexibility to transfer ownership of certain properties, I guess, what would have to be amended with it?
So the way the land sale policy is now is that you have to submit a request,
Submit a request, yeah,
and then it goes to, if it's determined deemed as buildable, which
Yeah.
by our ordinance, basically anything more than 3 lots is technically buildable,
yeah,
even though I wouldn't advise it. So technically it needs to go out to public's closed auction,
yep,
or sealed auction.
yep, sealed bids, yeah,
So
I remember that.
essentially we run the risk of having someone that, on a piece of property that we'd like to just have a neighbor take over and keep as, undeveloped.
So basically like amend it, yeah, so
Yeah.
amend it so that maybe
Yeah, something we want
a
undeveloped.
small piece
Yeah.
that is next door to somebody wouldn't necessarily go out for public if the
Correct.
person could pay, I mean, that makes
Or if it
sense,
does go out to public, it's between 2 or 3 neighbors.
right,
Or we work out a way to, split it up between the 3. That way it gets back on the tax rolls and
yep. Yeah, that makes
is
sense,
stewarded by the neighbors.
yep. And then with just a couple ideas as far as on page 17 there, as far as the physical improvements, where you mentioned that townships and partners, members of the community clean up the garbage. Just a couple of quick ideas I had is if you couldn't put together something like a Saturday morning or something where if community members would help, maybe they would get a gift certificate to the transfer station or something, where it wouldn't be like a big township cost, something small like that. Maybe a business would provide lunch. I don't know if the county would be interested or willing in taking the trash for free, maybe at the landfill. Or reduced price, maybe.
Yeah, that's something you can work out.
It was just some ideas
I know we
for
don't
that.
advertise it, but if people come in with, there have been times where people have come in with loads from know, they see something out on the two tracks, see it, and they want to take care of it. Sometimes they'll come to the township and ask if they can,
Oh, really? Okay.
if they can bring it to the dump for free. Since it's just trash laying on out in the woods. And we've worked with people
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
Good idea.
Just got the wheels turning a little bit if you want to try to engage the community a little bit.
And I think that's a great tool going forward with trying to expand that.
Yeah, that, and then maybe even get
Employment.
some signs made for all them two tracks and just increase the fee if you get caught. $1,000 fine, whatever.
I think $100 is the more by statute.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Wow.
Used to be a
Just 100 times 10.
That'll scare 'em a little more.
Or you give you a 10 fine. I don't know.
You could say that the person making the sign made a mistake. It's supposed to be.
It might be 1,000.
I don't
I'll
know.
have to double check. I'll have to check.
I honestly don't know. It was just an idea to increase the fine and maybe it would deter some people maybe. What's that?
Public beating.
Oh my God.
I'm fine with that. We're getting recorded though.
Do we have anyone else? Any comments, any concerns, questions, ideas? We do have a sample motion. If someone feels so moved.
I move to recommend that the Township Board of Trustees adopt the Lakewood Additions sub-area plan with edits made by the zoning administrator for grammar and clarity.
Motion. We'll do a roll call vote on that one. Hey, yes, Todd? Yes. Casey?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And Mark?
Yes.
All right, send that forward to the court. And we do again have, next item is the planning and zoning staff report, which we do have that. Thank you for that, Stephen. All right, which brings us no unfinished business. We are now to new business. We have a couple items here. One, we have PC 2604 at 2915 Whitehall Road for equipment rental services at Dan's Auto Service. Do we have anyone here for that? All right, perfect. Well, I'll tell you kind of how we run this. You've seen kind of, we're not a real formal thing, but we just follow kind of the same rules. What we'd like to do is give you the opportunity to kind of tell us, you can do it right from there. Just tell us what you're looking for.
Well, I'm looking to help the community by allowing them not to be able to drive all the way to Atlanta to rent U-Hauls, vehicles in the area, and allow them to save the amounts, or save money pretty much. Really low impact. I've only got one vehicle that is supposed to be just for locals. The other ones are kind of what they call shunting. They come in and out. You know, somebody might drop one off, somebody might take it to another location. Really beneficial for the community so far. But it's usually I might work on one or two of them. They don't allow me to do much, but it's just like basic stuff, bulbs and put some fluids in that kind of stuff. Trying to drive a little bit more business in the community.
All right, we do have a site plan. In the side of your building, where you have the 40 by 40 area there, that there's a shared driveway. Is that,
I don't know exactly. Is that a driveway? Is that a, what they call a right of way or easement?
Looks like it's any other
It's
parcel.
only 90 feet wide where that other driveway is. I don't know if that's on the other people's property or not.
I'm not sure how that's handled for now, and I'm not looking to start things this way, but that was my first question was like, your parcel pretty much centers through the area that you have that goes out there, but then there's two driveways there, and I don't know which one you consider the one that you use in the vehicles or.
I use both of them. As far as the neighbor that's to the south, they've never mentioned anything and they're really happy that at least I'm using it.
Okay.
I don't see any, unless there's a development that goes in there and they build something there, then the property lines have to be determined. I just lease the building, so. You know, all I know is the property is like 90 feet wide.
That isn't in our proposal at all on anything. That was just a question that I had, which I wasn't sure which one you'd say was your primary. When you deal with something like a Whitehall Road and the traffic and things, I didn't know which one we were directing that to. I mean, it makes sense since you're on that side of the building, you'd probably use that one, but again, I'm not trying to open any cans of worms or anything like that one.
Let's just go from the GIS. Neither one of these drive.
Do you know if that property to the south is owned by the person that you're leasing from? At all? Okay, it's just a 50-foot wide strip. Even
that's-
narrower than yours, but it's just another little teeny little.
Well, I don't know if it's
Weird.
all right away. Or if it's,
I'm trying to see on the.
or if it's on the other property.
That's, that is owned by Little John's Flooring, who also owns the parcel to the south of that. So
Oh.
it's the two parcels south of
Okay.
this one.
So it's a friendly adventure, so that's good.
Yeah.
That would be something that we don't have to worry about. That's good news. And there was a question, whether it would need to be grass or gravel for parking. And is there questions, concerns on that? Anyone see a reason why we'd want to do anything with that particular?
No.
Unless that he's required, I think he knows if he wants gravel or not. I think it's not our business.
I agree.
Me too.
I'm not seeing a reason that.
I think
What's
it's
that?
required in the park.
I just wanted to head that off
But I didn't
before we
have
got
it.
into big.
Yeah, and I think it's gravel underneath the grass because it doesn't grow very well in that area. I think the previous owners have a rental business there. Budget truck was there and then it'd been a while, but a U-Haul was there a long time ago. And that area, I didn't do any dig down or anything in it, but I know when I plow it, the gravel goes back quite a ways.
I think it is required in the parking and loading, I think, but I'm not, I didn't recently read it. I'm not positive. But if there's existing gravel there, spray a little Roundup on it, or it's gravel, right?
There you go. I'm happy if you're happy.
Thing is, it's like he knows.
I know what you're saying.
The first time he has to pull a U-Haul truck out of the mud, he's gonna do something about it.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't see what it would affect anybody else or anything, so.
It's not very. That's for customers. I mean, vehicle's there, but. Anybody else can do it.
I have a question. Does your contract with U-Haul stipulate anything like lighting, security or, I'm not talking about the gravel and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I mean, I think
there's something.
I think it's just to make sure I've got it locked. There's no access to, like when I rent out that stays there, that's got a padlock on the back and it's got a key for it, but The majority of it's just making sure they're locked, just like any other car. Now, I know there's a light on the pole out there. It's like a big vapor mercury light. And that lights up the parking lot, the little parking lot in front, and then I did an additional light on the side of the building. On the south side of the building to light up that area. Then I put one on the back too.
And if someone is returning when they're just dropping the vehicle off, putting the keys in a drop box or.
There is a key return box, and then there's 3 lock boxes.
Okay.
That have a combination. So what happens is they run it online. I don't even have to be there. They can come. Once they arrive on the property, then it signals down to finish the procedure to check it out. So they usually take their picture, take a picture of the license. After they're verified, takes about 10 minutes or so, then they get an unlock code for the box. Then they can just put the numbers in the box, access the key, and then be on.
I mean, it says that all parking areas shall be pavement consisting of asphalt, concrete, or other hard surface, approved by the planning commission and approval of site plan. But then right underneath it, it says, in order to reduce the amount of impervious parking structure, they want the planning commission, they want us to approve alternative parking surfaces. Well, I think a somewhat grass covered thing is perfect for stormwater to just perk right into the soil. Sounds good to me.
I just read that too.
Yeah.
It's like a 300-yard drive right down the fairway. Well done.
To worry about. It just says support a parked vehicle. So
Yeah.
that's enough.
All right, pretty straightforward.
We've seen, excuse me, we've seen the U-Haul business that John's Market operates. You know, yeah, okay.
Well, I heard some things about that, and
Yeah, he was here a couple of years ago and put up a fence between he and his residential neighbor and whatever.
yeah, I heard a little bit about that. It was funny was when it was on the agenda, it looks like it said John's Market and then it was cut off and
Yeah, I seen that.
yeah, I was like, then I put one and one together.
I didn't see that. Anyway.
Any other questions?
You're gonna have to add to your signage.
I had a banner, but I was told that I had to take that down. But I can't put that on the front of the building unless as long as it's less than 20% of the front space of the building. But I basically got a banner that's like 5 feet. It's a double-sided one. Because I would have put it up with stakes or something like that.
People will see they see your vehicle there too, if it's there, and kind of get there. They'll know they'll have
Yeah.
instructions on where to park, and
Yep.
pretty simple. All right, anybody care to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve case PC 26-04 site plan review for rental services, shunting of utility vehicles and utility trailers at 2915 Whitehall Road as proposed.
Support. A motion and support. We roll call vote here. Dave, yes. Todd? Yes. Casey?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And Mark?
Yes.
All right. We also have PC 26-05 at 3000 Whitehall Road for Barry's Greenhouse parking lot and relocate all bins. Do we have anyone there for that? Yeah, where was tonight?
I did inform him via email yesterday.
Okay.
I sent him the packet on Thursday as well.
So I guess you're not that concerned about it.
So we may,
I mean, it looks like they're adding a lot of stuff, it looks like. All them, like the hoop barn 6 to 13 or something are all new, I'm guessing. I did not go over there.
You know, those were originally there.
Were they?
Those are, I mean, this is the original, the whole greenhouse center. I think they've just been like restructuring
Gotcha.
their,
Restructuring. I think they're just moving around what's inside.
Okay.
and then this is, sure.
I was.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the new, the
This
bulk
is-
bins and stuff.
They got rid of the mount back there.
I highly suggest they get some engineered drawings done for their parking area. Because it's currently gravel and going to hard surface, you're gonna lose all the infiltration, right? And if you do, I did do some quick math on it, but the proposed swale they have will, if it's a perfect box, which is not gonna be so smaller, because all rounded edges or whatever, but if it was a perfect box, it would hold 5,200 cubic feet. And 1 inch of water on that asphalt parking lot's gonna be 3,600, so about 1.5 inches and you're overflowing it. Which I don't think would be, I don't think it's a big enough of a swale, but I don't know what kind of percolation rates in that soil or anything like that, or if they're using perforated pipe for. So I definitely think they should have some engineered drawings for that, just to make sure it doesn't create a water problem.
there was some question on that. Whether it needs to be closed to the well.
I think what Steve was saying there is just to make sure that it was blocked, that swale was blocked off on the north end, that it wasn't just like a swale in their property, like.
Draining
they
onto the
lighted
next.
that go onto the.
Ditch right over there.
But even with that, like I say, I don't. I mean, from what I know and building the stuff, it's not nearly enough storage volume.
Maybe we can get him back here, that he or she next month.
I mean, the rest of it looks like you got some pretty cool ideas there, right? Doing different gardens and stuff like that.
Could table till next month and have them come and ask the questions and make a suggestion to do the engineer study, just so they get the right information.
I would think that
Because this doesn't, the thing that's kind of annoying about this, that you get on an engineered plan is it would say existing or it would say new. Like, I have no idea what of this is existing and what we're supposed to even be looking at.
right, because the way the description is, it sounds like a whole bunch of.
Right, exactly.
That's
There's,
why I was wondering about
Right.
those house, those greenhouses. I know there's a bunch of stuff there.
I wonder if the gray stuff's old.
I'm not sure what's old,
This-
what's new either.
Because the shade, I mean, I've been there a little bit.
yeah, I
The
have
shade
to.
house, I
I've
think,
never.
no, they didn't take that down. These are all new, because that's where that big pile of.
So if, I feel like this is here, I feel like that's there too. So it's where they have like the mountains and there's rock and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, they might,
But-
they might have just changed what's inside. But
Mm.
I mean, I guess I would make that. That had nothing
That
to do
cooler,
with-
yeah.
There's really nothing to do with what we got going
I
on.
don't know, I'm confused.
Maybe send it on to next month and then have them come in and present it so we can. With a question of drainage on that side, let them know ahead of time. There's some concern about that as a potential.
Yeah, we want to let them know if we can, not just table it and then tell them.
Mhm.
If we could let them know that, at least that's my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Somebody else thinks. It's,
I mean, for a large
That's
site, it's
my
nice to
idea.
have a professional calculate whether the stormwater thing's gonna work or not.
right.
Looks at what their future plans are.
Well, yeah, they're starting to utilize a lot of their site, so
Which is good. I mean,
It's
I think,
wonderful.
I think it'd be cool. if
I love it.
Oh, yeah, so this one shows.
that's from 2023, so I'm
this is
not
what their-
sure.
This would be their current stuff. With all what they already had, and there's their little bins for that.
So all this must, is this where the bins were?
Yeah, right
Okay,
out front here, this
okay.
is white hall or whatever, this is all mulch or
Okay.
whatever. This is where all their fruit trees and all that little stuff was, and this is their shading area. This is where the big mound of wood chips slash whatever, what that there. Huge, I can't even believe it had all that.
Would someone like to make a motion?
Would recommend, postponing it. The motion specifically saying you're postponing for additional information regarding, stormwater drainage, as well as any other information you'd like.
Need someone to say that publicly, or can we count on the wisdom you just shared? Some wonderful.
Probably say it publicly.
Okay. Did anyone catch it?
They do have a retention pond back there also.
I see that. It says possible retention is needed, so and that, there again, you know, that it leaves a lot of
Yes.
open stuff open to interpretation, but my interpretation is they're saying if needed for that newly developed
Right.
northeast corner of the site. But there again, even with that, I mean, they should definitely have some calculations done. Make sure they handle the water.
All right, so that was, we need a postpone till next month for giving you the opportunity to review changes.
I know,
I
okay,
wouldn't say next month, just postpone until they submit.
Yeah.
I make the
Might
motion,
not be able to have an engineer
okay.
until, 2 months from now.
I make a motion to postpone approval of PC 2605 for Barry's Greenhouse, pending engineered calculations for stormwater, to have somebody come in here so we can ask questions and to have them clarify what is new and what is existing. Is there anything else? All right.
Sounds good to me.
That sounded fantastic.
Just
Support.
help us.
All right, we have a motion in support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, that moves us to our adjournment. Unless someone would like to read from.
No,
Yeah.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Or
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting at 6:42.